advent of electronic mail in the 1990s. Change is usually disruptive. And often when change occurs, it totally disrupts the world as we know it. Change is inconvenient. Change is unsettling. Democracy disrupted monarchy. The automobile disrupted horse breeders. Email disrupted the postal service and envelope manufacturers. Personal computers put typewriters out of business. And remember stereos, reel-to-reel tape decks, VCRs, cassette tapes? I have all four of those things. Well, the list could go on and on. Sometimes new industries are generated while other businesses fail. And new industries often require new types of jobs. A futurist, Thomas suggests that 60% of the jobs 10 years from now haven't been invented. 60% of jobs that will be needed 10 years from now haven't been invented. Still, we wouldn't have any other way. As one writer says, few people are crying that Edison put lantern makers out of business. And the disruption continues. It comes to us today in the form of devices we carry on our wrists, in our pockets, or purses. Sensors, cloud infrastructure, data and business intelligent tools, AI, robotics, nanomaterials, biotech, quantum computing, and the Internet of Things are all changing, transforming, disrupting. And we find disruptive information in the Bible as well. Think of the angel of the Lord appearing to Moses in a sagebrush bonfire. Because he can't believe his eyes, Moses stops dead in his tracks to, quote, look at this great sight and see why the bush is not burned up. Then God speaks to him out of the bush, and Moses says, "Here I am." Think of Peter, James, and John on a mountaintop with Jesus. And suddenly he's transfigured in front of them. The appearance of his face changes, and his clothes become dazzling white. What's happening? Then the disciples get help from the cloud. A voice says, "This is my son, my chosen. Listen to him." For the greatest disruption of all, Easter morning, the women find the stone rolled away. The tomb is open. But when they go in, they cannot find the body of Jesus. They stare, not comprehending. Then two men in dazzling clothes tell them that Jesus has risen. And they take this news to the disciples and all of the rest. And the world is never the same. A burning bush, the transfiguration, the empty tomb, all three examples of disruptive information. And it's curious that all three examples involve images of light or brightness. Perhaps foretelling that what was about to happen would somehow bring girl's handlers are angry that her spirit of divination has been removed, cutting deeply into their fortune-telling profits. It's amazing to me. It just occurred to me that these characters were upset. They didn't inquire about this miracle that had happened, but rather they were only concerned that their payday was going away. These men are disrupting our city, they say. They are Jews and are advocating customs that are not lawful for us as Romans to adopt or observe. Paul and Silas are given a severe flogging, and then they are thrown into prison, and the jailer puts them in the innermost cell and fastens their feet in stocks. Paul and Silas pass the time by praying and singing hymns to God. And then at midnight, a violent earthquake opens the door of the prison and unfastens everyone's chains. Now, we know that Roman military discipline to be rigorous, and it's swift, it's certain. And the punishment for a desertion or dereliction of duty was to be stoned or to be beaten to death by cudgels. And the jailer assumed his prisoners had escaped, and with a deep sense of dread and shame, he draws his sword to kill himself. But Paul calls out and urges him not to hurt himself, since the prisoners are all present. Calling for lights, the jailer rushes in and falls down trembling before Paul and Silas. Thomas Kuhn, the physicist who coined the phrase paradigm shift, would say, quote, "Novelty emerges only with difficulty." The jailer clearly struggles to wrap his head around what his eyes and ears are telling him. When an earthquake shakes loose prison doors, prisoners are supposed to escape. So why are these characters still here? In his time of confusion, the jailer's old framework gives way to a new one. He brings Paul and Silas outside and asks, "Sirs, what must I do to be saved?" They instruct him to believe in Jesus Christ. And then both he and his household were baptized. And the story ends with the jailer showing hospitality to Paul and Silas by throwing a celebratory feast. Where two or more gathered, there shall be food, right? That's an Old Testament. In every time and place, the Christian faith is a constant source of disruptive information. As an innovative idea, it stresses us, it surprises us, it confuses us, and then, once accepted, it changes our lives. And in the same way, this story from Acts helps us to grasp the stress and transformation of Christian living. Each element of the story contains a piece of disruptive information that can change our lives as well. Disruption 1. You are valued for who you are, not for what you do. After the midnight earthquake, the jailer deeply feels shame and failure that he's lost his prisoners. And in noble Roman fashion, he draws his sword suicides were due to the recession that hit the United States, Canada, and Europe in the years between 2008 and 2010. 10,000 economic suicides. And think of the murder suicides that wipe out entire families because someone felt he was a failure and preferred to send his wife and children to eternity rather than to have them watch him slide into failure and depression, unable to provide for his family. That's evil. Many of us believe our value is based on our performance. And most of us, it's true, are not tempted to end it all, thank God. But still, when we face failure, there's no doubt a small voice somewhere, deep within, whispers that we are total losers. As Christians, we hear the message that God loves me. We hear it over and over again, but it's been sterilized. It's been whitewashed and ground down until it means God likes you. Or perhaps God is mildly fond of you. Love has become some vague sense of approval instead of the stern as death, burn away your sins, while rejoicing love that Scripture tells us of. And God is friendly doesn't change lives. It doesn't heal broken hearts or pull addicts from the miry pit or give anyone a reason to wake up in the morning. We must regain the conviction that we are deeply, powerfully loved in a way that has to change our lives. Listen, God doesn't just tolerate you or even like you. He dances with joy over you. His love for you is so powerful that it burns away the unlovable parts, renewing us. God says your value is based on who you are, not on what you do. And each of us is a precious child of God with worth that comes from being made in the image and likeness of God. This is true whether we failed students, office workers, or jailers. Disruption 2. You are saved through your faith in Jesus, not by the gods of success, beauty, and popularity. After hearing the word of the Lord, the jailer washes the wounds of Paul and Silas. He and his family are baptized. And then he brings everyone into his house and throws a huge party. The jailer and his whole family rejoice that he has become a believer in God. Now, although we don't think of ourselves as pagans, we have to admit that we fall down in front of a lot of false gods today. Listen to what Meg Hunter-Kilmer writes on her website. Quote, "We burn incense at the altar of success and beauty and popularity. We bow down before soccer and standardized tests and sleepover parties. Maybe it's the gods your parents worship or the gods of the culture you live in, but if you're anything like me, your life is filled with idols." End quote. John Calvin called the human heart an idol factory. To his credit, the jailer falls down before two faithful Christians, Paul and Silas. And he trades his faith in the Roman gods for faith in Jesus the Christ, putting his trust in the one who can truly save him. Disruption